Welcome to Sage Audio. Today we're talking about how to limit your master. But first, if you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us at sageaudio.com to receive a free mastered sample of it. What are some of the best limiters? Although there are a lot of great ones, here are some of our picks for the best. The best free limiter is limiter number 6. Best introductory limiter is Waves L1. Best versatile limiter, the FabFilter Pro L2. Best limiter for retaining detail, Newfangled Audio's Elevate. And our pick for the best overall sounding limiter is Voxengo's Elephant. Now, these are just our opinions, so keep that in mind. Also, if there's one that you love that you think is better than these, tell us about it in the comment section. How much attenuation when limiting? How much attenuation you introduce will depend on how loud you want your master. Typically, I avoid more than 5 to 6 dB of attenuation at any point, but some engineers use more if the genre or the track calls for it. Typically, significant attenuation can be avoided. For example, if I wanted a loud master, I could use low-level compression prior to limiting. This will amplify the quieter parts of the signal, in turn increasing the master's loudness without the need for aggressive attenuation. Let's take a listen to it.
So you thought that I'd learned by now, but it's a 4-year-old kid still talking. But what we still talking about that?
Best release time when limiting. When using a limiter, a 50 millisecond release time is the best for creating a loud master without introducing distortion. Any time quicker than 50 milliseconds will cause the track to mildly to moderately distort, which may or may not be wanted depending on what you're trying to accomplish. If you want a smoother sounding master, try 250 milliseconds or above. Or if you don't care about distortion and you simply want as loud of a track as possible, use a release time of 5 to 10 milliseconds. Let's take a listen to these different release times.
So you thought that I'd learned by now, but it's a 4-year-old kid still talking. But what we still talking about that?
Best attack time when limiting. If you see an attack time on a limiter, keep in mind that it doesn't behave like the attack time on a compressor. All attack times on limiters are nearly instant or 0 milliseconds. Instead, the attack time here means the time before the release envelope begins. So, if you want less distortion, set a quicker attack time. But if you want a louder master, a longer attack time will work better. Combine these with the release time for greater control of your master's timbre. Let's take a listen to these different attack times.
So you thought that I'd learned by now, but it's a 4-year-old kid still talking. But what we still talking about that?
Should I use true peak detection when limiting? In most instances, it's best not to use true peak detection when you're limiting. The reason being the effect will alter your master's transients, causing a less impactful sound. Instead, slightly lower the ceiling of your limiter and use oversampling and a short amount of look ahead. The ceiling will keep the signal from peaking, oversampling will cause more accurate quantization and less aliasing distortion, and look ahead will duck the signal to avoid peaking. These effects are a lot less aggressive than true peak detection. Let's take a listen to a true peak detected signal versus the settings that we just described.
So you thought that I'd learned by now, but it's a 4-year-old kid still talking. But what we still talking about that?
Should I use oversampling when limiting? When you're using a limiter on your master, you should absolutely use oversampling to avoid aliasing distortion and to create a more accurate amplitude for your signal, which reduces peaking. Oversampling has no negative or adverse effect on your signal and really only benefits your master. When pushing your signal into a brick wall ceiling, you'll likely get some harmonic distortion. If the harmonics are created from higher frequencies, this will likely cause unwanted aliasing distortion. So, use oversampling to avoid this. Let's listen to a master with and without oversampling used.
So you thought that I'd learned by now, but it's a 4-year-old kid still talking. But were we still talking about that?
Stereo expansion when limiting. Stereo expansion can be introduced when limiting in a couple of ways. The first is by using a mid-side limiter to attenuate more of the mid than the side. The second way is to expand the stereo image by unlinking the channels so that they're affected independently. Granted, unlinking your channels won't make your master stereo image wider in all cases, but it can have a pleasant effect on the stereo image by making your left and right signals more unique and distinct. Let's listen to some stereo expansion created using a limiter.
So you thought that I'd learned by now, but it's a 4-year-old kid still talking. But were we still talking about that?
If you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us at sageaudio.com to receive a free mastered sample of it. Also, subscribe to stay up to date on all of our latest videos. Thank you so much for watching.